This week's scenario is Entrenched from the 2016 Steamroller package. The scenario does not have the Killbox Artifice effect and consists of 2 rectangular zones. The friendly zone can be dominated for 1 CP. The enemy zone can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs, but not until the enemy objective has been destroyed for 1 CP. Victory conditions consist of 5 control points or caster assassination.
Hey everybody, Cutthroatcure here. So I brought Madrak 2 and a Runebearer, Rock, a Dire Troll Mauler for the Rage Animus, Bouncer for Shield Guard. I brought a full max unit of Champions without Scaldy because he wasn't painted, the Fellcaller Hero, Chronicler, Fennblade Kithkar, a max unit of Fennblades since they are my favorite unit in the game with their UA.
Hey everybody. So I'm playing Lylyth 3, Lylyth Reckoning of Everblight. Sort of a standard battle group with a Succubus, Typhon, an Angel, Nephilim Bolt Thrower, a Ravagore, and a Naga Nightlurker, along with a unit of Strider Scouts and 2 Forsaken. I'm just sort of seeing what's working, what's not, so I guess we'll see how this goes.
So starting with deployment, I knew that I was playing into Lylyth 3, and one thing that I hate about her is how strong her assassination game is. I felt a little bit more confident playing Madrak 2 since I had Shield Guard and a max unit of the Fennblades to kind of push some of my wounds off on, but it didn't really make me feel a ton better since I've seen her pull it out pretty well. I tried to take up more of a central position with Madrak, and I definitely set him beside Rock, and I kept the Mauler and the Bouncer close for Shield Guard, obviously. The Runebearer I kept over to my right just because I knew I was move him up and then cast Harmonious Exaltation to make the best use of my Fury. I set the Fennblades in the middle because I knew I was going to need them to get a lot of work done on the feet. And I set the Champions over on the far right side just because I believed that they could compete with that far right zone.
So as far as deployment goes, I put Lylyth pretty much central. I know I want the Bolt Thrower close enough that I can keep its Animus around, load one side fairly heavy as far as Beast goes, so the Angel and the Ravagore go on my right flank. The Angel's fast enough that I can hopefully keep control of my zone, and then everything else just sort of moves around. Typhon goes off on the left, the Naga, same thing, and then the support stuff goes wherever it'll pretty much wherever it'll fit. For my advanced deployment, the Striders pretty much go at max distance. The new rules for the musician are a little odd. I've only played a couple of games with it so far, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if I can remember all of the new rules for Mark III.
So beginning my first turn, I look across the board and I realize that Lylyth 3 is playing a very central point. I know she has a strong assassination game, so I feel like I'm going to play a little bit more defensively when I set my people up. I know probably in the next turn is going to be when I focus on feeding, so I definitely want to play my beasts up. So of course I make sure to run them up to cover as much distance as I can and get as close to that hill. I'm hopeful that by getting them up so close, I can create a area to block Madrak 2 from any attacks that are early, while also allowing me to play far forward so that when I do feed, I can get my heavies into some tasty morsels and hopefully Pac-Man into something stronger. I use the Fellcaller to cast Overcome onto my Fennblades, and then I move him up behind those woods. My basic idea is to play a central point in case I need him in other places. I moved the champions up into the edge of the zone just because I feel like if something comes over there, they're going to be able to handle it, especially if I play Madrak in more of a central position and they get affected by the feat. I feel with their 2 attacks and Weapon Master, they might be able to get some work done. I originally thought that I was going to play Madrak far to the left, and I kind of had a little bit of an issue with this after I had placed my heavies, and you can definitely see that I'm considering what I'm going to do. So I decide to keep going with the plan that I had already set forward. So I moved Madrak behind the 2 heavies to block any early assassination game with Lylyth, since I know her threat is so far. I then, I of course cast Harmonious Exaltation from the Runebearer after I moved him, and originally I moved the Chronicler up thinking I'm going to put Tales of Mist onto Madrak, but then after a quick rules check I realized that it's unit only, so my opponent is nice enough to let me move it over onto the Fennblades. I run the Fennblades up just because I feel like if I can gain enough of the table, even if he kills one of them between my Vengeance move and all my attacks, I can at least have a good bit of the board, and that's going to allow me on my feat turn to be able to command a little bit of the area.
Going into turn 1, just for fun, I'd see if I can actually shoot Madrak this turn, and I can't, because, well, I can't quite get that far, and even if I do, he's got a bunch of things that he can shunt shots off to, so not a great idea. The main thing that I'm going to try and do right now is deal with the 3 front Fennblades. I know that if I kill them, he'll get vengeance and whatnot, but at the very least, a lot of his stuff will be still out of range, hopefully, if I kill, even if I kill the 3 front ones. I'm going to have to deal with the Fennblades at some point. I figure I might as well start it off as much as I can. So I shoot the front 2. I don't quite get the last one. I use one of the shots, or one of the kills, to put up Battle Host, because, well, not paying for things is nice. And then I put up Excessive Healing just because I can. I don't think he's actually going to get anything into Lylyth, but I prefer to be sure, really. So that one Fennblade's still alive, which is annoying. You know, hitting a 4 on 2 dice, he should be dead or knocked down if he toughs, but such is life. So go with the Striders next, and utilizing the new pre-measurement rules, I get to advance to where I want them to go, and again continue my plan of dealing with the Fennblades. If you notice, when I deployed, I left a nice big gap, so Lylyth could actually walk through them, and then with her reposition she could walk backwards. I didn't need Farstrike, so I probably could have put up the Ravagore's Animus for Swift Hunter, but I just really didn't think about it. So, lessons learned. Striders do a decent job of killing Fennblades, which is kind of nice, and the one guy that's knocked down in a forest, so, you know, no real vengeance move for him, and then they reposition pretty much, hopefully, out of the way as much as possible, but meh. I'm not expecting them to live for very long, honestly. Trolls are surprisingly fast and annoying to deal with. So, Ravagore, I try and get a decent drift to maybe hit some of the Fennblades in the back so I can boost damage on them, but I don't. However, the Skather does scatter to a very nice position. so I'm okay with that. The other thing that I'm trying to do here is to control his battle group as much as possible. Rock hits like a freaking truck, so I don't like that. However, hey, bolt thrower. So it, walks up, puts up its animus, and manages to crit knock down rock. So that's nice. Everything else pretty much just advances. I'm trying to get into a position so I can hopefully not take too many losses in his turn. But I don't know. Like I said, trolls are kind of rough to deal with, even now. So yeah. But I'm fairly happy with how my first turn went.
So going into my second turn, all I can say is that those Striders got a lot of work done. That Ravagore shot being in the middle causes a little bit of issues, but with my Vengeance move, I'm able to move my Fennblades into such a manner that I can get around it without completely, destroying any of my charge lanes. As I said in the last turn, that I definitely feel like this should be the charge. This should be the feat turn. But I definitely feel like I overcalled it because with the bolt thrower being able to push rock back so far and knock him down, I was having to place a fury into him so early in order to stand him up. I really believe that if I had used the bouncer's ability to either take the shot or put Earth's Blessing onto him, it would have helped me keep rock a lot farther up, which could have definitely helped. I moved Madrak 2 up to the front just because, he's Madrak 2. He's a lot harder to kill. I feel like with my transfers and everything else that I'm going to get some work done. I did decide to upkeep Blood Fury onto my Fennblades because if I can get them in there, I feel like I can get some work done. I think one of my biggest issues right here was that by playing Madrak so far to the left, I was really kind of cutting off the distance with his short control range for my Fennblades to get some work done using the feat. So of course I pop the Fennblades mini feat, and I did pop Madrak's feat, and I start moving things and trying to get a little bit of distance. Now, once again, as I said, it was definitely a misplay on my part, and I feel like had I kept Madrak more in the middle, I would have made more use out of my feat, and had I put Earth's Blessing down, rock would not have gotten pushed back so far. But still, I'm starting to kill some of these Striders. They had done a lot of work. And I think with the mat bonus from the Kithkar and from the Fellcaller, it's allowing me to get a little bit of work done. I did pop the Fennblades mini feat in order to give him the extra 2 inches on the charge and to give him Pathfinder, since I knew that the Fellcaller's cry was going to need to go into their mat. So I'm charging my guys up, trying to get, as I said, you can see me doing a lot of measuring, and I'm trying to make sure that that 10 inches with Madrak is keeping some of these Fennblades. And as I said, I really kind of handicapped myself by playing him so far to the left in the upper zone because of the fact that a lot of my Fennblades, after maybe 1 or 2 attacks, would be out of his range. Which kind of, I feel, muzzled them a little bit and didn't allow me to get as much work done as I would have liked. So I moved the Mauler up, trying to figure out where I want to go. I definitely had, man, why am I blanking? The ability where when I kill something, when I kill something, a beast that's in my control gets to move 3 inches. So I do move the Mauler up 3 inches after killing one of the Striders. And of course, I'm just going back and forth trying to hit these Striders, and I think they're like defense defense 13, basically, but because of the wall that I'm attacking over with that bridge, which we decided to play as both a hill and a wall, it was just making the Striders' defense really, really high. So even with my boosted mat from both the Kithkar and the Fellcaller, I still wasn't being able to kill as many as I would have liked. So you can definitely see me contemplating with Solus over how far my Mauler can move. And as I said, the bolt thrower kind of pushed my guys a little bit farther back, so I wasn't able to get them exactly where I needed them to go in order to do to get the work that I wanted to get done. So I decided instead to run my Mauler up and just get him up there with the Ravagore to kind of keep the Ravagore where he needs to be and kind of put a little bit of threat while putting a little bit of muscle into the zone. As I said, I definitely misplayed my feet turn. I feel definitely if Rock or the Mauler had a little bit more distance and the Striders hadn't repositioned after shooting a bunch of guys off the board, I would have been able to do what I want, but my opponent played that very well. So I'm definitely moving a bunch of guys up behind Madrak because since I'm not playing him in a central area and my Fennblades are farther up, I have fewer options in order to do some of the Grim Salvation to. So I'm just definitely moving the Chronicler and the Runebearer up just in case. I also have the Bouncer up there. So I'm moving the champions up because I'm feeling like if I can start getting them in, I can start threatening a little bit more.
Turn 2. That hurt. Sort of. A little bit. It was kind of annoying, actually. So he managed to kill most of my Striders, my poor Striders. I think I have like 3 left, which is unfortunate. But, hey, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Turns out that even forgetting I could pre-measure stuff at the end, I can eyeball threat ranges. So, starting up, I want to kill as many Fennblades as I can because they are annoying, and one of the best ways to deal with Madrak is to, or at least Madrak 2, is to kill his army around him. As long as he's got stuff within 3 inches, he's very hard to take down, and yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about his new rule, or well, the change to his rule. But we'll see. Anyway, Ravagore goes, and Animus shoots the guys in front, or the Fennblades in front of the bridge, in front of Typhon, and manages to kill them, which is nice. They are super annoying to deal with, and I want to keep shooting stuff, and with them in combat means that I don't get to shoot stuff, and that is super annoying. So yeah. Plus, the Scather there isn't going to do a whole lot to champions, but it'll at least start doing damage to them when he has to go through it, if he decides to go through it. So, I've got a couple of options this turn, and I'm honestly undecided as to how I want to do them, or which of the options I want to take. I know that I have to either push hard for scenario, or I have to push hard for assassination, and unfortunately, the way I'm set up and the way the board is set up, plus there's champions in his zone, I am not well equipped to deal with scenario at this point. So, with that said, I go ahead and start pushing for an assassination. Killing Fennblades is always fun, and I have Striders left. He, unfortunately for him, misses a bunch of free strikes. Turns out that defense 15 is good, and when you're swinging over an obstacle or linear obstacle or whatever you want to call it, defense 17 versus mat 6 is hilarious. So there's that. Yeah, the idea right now is continue with my plan of killing Fennblades, and then try and take out the Mauler. I would prefer to take out the Mauler without giving up Typhon to Rock, but I'm not sure that I'm going to actually be able to do that. If I want to feat in stationary Rock and knock him down, that will at least be something, but not really. I don't particularly want to do that. It's a riskier play. So Lylyth goes, she aims, continues with the killing of the Fennblades, and then repositions backwards. There's no kill box in this, so that's nice. It gives me the ability to pretty much move around wherever I want on the backfield, and as long as the bolt thrower stays alive, I'm able to pretty much reach out and touch whoever I want. So yeah, I like the Far Strike Animus on the bolt thrower now. I try and shoot some more Fennblades, don't quite do it. And here's where I sort of screw up a little bit. I knocked the Mauler a little bit too far. Well, I knocked it down, which was fine. The problem was I knocked it back so far that when I go in with Typhon, I'm within walking distance of Rock. I think. It's hard to look at it. I believe I'm within walking distance, but we'll see how it goes. The idea was to walk and stay at the edge of my zone and utilize my 1-inch melee. I forget to do that. So I killed the Mauler. I put up excessive healing, and hopefully that will allow me to survive, or at least make him expend more resources to kill. So I try and kill the last Fennblade, but I don't quite get there, so that's unfortunate. So all in all, a decent turn. I am setting up for an assassination, and again, like I said, the problem with Madrak 2 is you really have to kill his army around him. He's got a fairly small battle group, so that's nice, and I can sort of handle it. The problem is going to be the champions who have done absolutely nothing to them. The one idea I had was to feat and shoot the 3 guys in front to stationary them, because the way that he was set up, he wouldn't have been able to really get around them, and he can't shake stationary on infantry models. But I thought that it would be better for me in the long run to continue killing Fennblades, because they have reach, and reach is bad for me because he can engage me and I can't really engage him without moving with the majority of my stuff. So at the end of the turn, I fix my fury and sort of hold on to see what happens in his turn. I have a feeling I'm going to lose Typhon, which is unfortunate because he's really the heavy hitter in the list, and I'm not certain it would have been better to have just gone with an Angel and see if I could kill the Mauler with the Angel. I'm thinking it was unlikely, but dice spikes happen, so that could have been a thing. And if nothing else, it's a defense 14 model, so hitting it, needing 8s with the Mauler is not guaranteed, and even Rock might have had to put up Primal to hit it. So, I don't know. I'm happy with how the turn ended up, and I'm happy with my positioning right now, with the exception, of course, for Typhon. I probably should have just walked in and tried to hit the Mauler instead of shooting it with the bolt thrower. Probably should have just shot Rock again, because that's one fury, one less fury that he has to buy attacks with. But we'll see.
Going into my third turn, really, right off the bat, I lost the Mauler in my opponent's turn, and it really kind of set the piecemeal off. He's trading up. Typhon comes in, kills my Mauler, is now contesting the zone. I use my my Vengeance move to move my Fennblades a little bit closer, just because I believe that if I can get Charge of the Trolls off on them, that it's going to allow me to, since obviously Rock is going to go in there and try and do some damage to Typhon, that it'll give me an extra bit of attacks to get some stuff done. So I'm definitely trying to consider my options. As I said, I'm kind of losing in the piecemeal game. Almost all of my Fennblades have been wiped out. I did kill almost every single Strider. I think I may have killed them all, but there might have been one that ran back a little bit. But for the most part, they're all dead because they were doing a decent amount. So I decide, since I'm playing up still near the top zone, that maybe I should just get in there and block Lylyth out, since I have a lot more ability to stay alive. It's taking a decent amount of consideration because I'm trying to figure out exactly what I can do with all my fury, if it's worth it, since I definitely wasted my feet the last turn just by not looking at all the areas. So I put Blood Fury back down, and I moved the Chronicler over, and as I said, I dropped Charge of the Trolls onto the Fennblades because I know Rock's moving in there, and I think with Charge of the Trolls and Blood Fury that I'm going to be able to do a decent amount of work. I then charge Rock into Typhon, and I decide to just try and beat all three of his faces in. So I start with my Assault Spray. I don't think I do much with it, but I feel like I maybe did a point or two of damage to him. But between his regeneration and my really low damage rolls, I'm just not doing as much damage as I should be, which is kind of worrisome for me. Because I kind of wanted to be able to, maybe get to use my stuff to kill him and then maybe save a little bit of fury. But instead, I end up having to use almost all of my fury right into Typhon because, I'm hitting him and then he's healing some of it. Soulless was doing really well on spiking his dice for his heals. So, he was always removing at least 3, which, when you think over 5 or 6 fury or attacks, that, that's a lot. So a good 18 damage that he had pulled away. So maybe I could have killed Typhon a little bit earlier if I had tossed, maybe Grievous Wounds into Typhon and kept him from healing. But alas, I didn't. So I just kind of beat into him until I couldn't do anything more. So one of the basic things I'm trying to figure out is that if I can kill something, can I move stuff over to try and threaten a little bit more? Because I've got my bouncer and I feel like maybe I need to start getting in there and dominating the zone so that I can get a little bit of work done and start bringing myself up. Really, with Rock, I should have gotten in there and destroyed the zone. Destroyed the objective so I could start scoring points. But I definitely, or even with the Mauler the last turn, if I could have just focused more on that objective, I could have started scoring points this turn. But instead, I'm having to deal with Typhon, lost my Mauler without doing anything. So right here, you'll see me measuring, and my major focus is that I'm trying to get Madrak to within melee range of Typhon while still being behind the wall and being blocked. So it's kind of a funny little area where I was able to end up. Definitely since I was within 3 inches of both of those Fennblades there. So of course Madrak gets in there, he finishes the job, he kills Typhon, which was good because He should have died when Rock got into him, but, 18 damage, or 18 to 21 damage healed up was definitely making it a little bit more difficult. So I activate the Bouncer, and I decide that I want to try and put him in such a manner where I can attack the zone, but I can also, attack the objective, but also be there for shield guard for Madrak. This is going to prove to be a little bit harder than I had originally anticipated, so in wanting to try and keep the attrition game up, I just put the Bouncer right next to Rock to block line of sight and, offer that shield guard. So with the Fell Caller, I had kept him behind the woods because he was able to toss his stuff out as I needed them. He actually puts Overcome onto the champions, and I don't know why I decided to do this, but I decide for some reason that the Naga is the new enemy that I need to focus on, and I actually put all of the champions into the woods.
Turn 3. Poor Typhon. At the very least, it took Madrak to finish Typhon off. That was super sad. And I'm still sort of kicking myself for the play that I made with the bolt thrower shooting the Mauler. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure if that was the best play to make or not. But in the end, it worked out. After leeching and everything, I go ahead with the Forsaken, and it rolls pretty well. I think it knocks down, or it kills at least one Fennblade. It forces a tough on the other. It doesn't roll quite as well on Rock as I might want. Rock is, of course, still alive, unfortunately. But, oh well, things happen. I go with the next Forsaken and Blight Shroud again. This time I roll fairly well again. Unfortunately, I don't kill Rock. I think I left him alive on 1 point. Let me say that I leave Rock alive on 1 point. So frustrating. Because now what that means is I have to invest something into killing Rock. And then he has transfers, which is fine. I think I can, if I can actually hit Madrak enough and take out his Grim Salvation targets as well, I can hit him hard enough that the Bouncer should die just through transfers. The issue with that is I don't know if I can actually kill Madrak. So, thus sets up yet another turn of trying to push for an assassination. That is just annoying. So, I'm basically trying to figure out how to work this turn. It's mildly complicated at this point. I'm kicking myself for losing Typhon. Excessive healing did a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but who thought it was a good idea to give Madrak 2, or does Madrak 1 have Grievous Wounds as well, just base? Like, Crit Grievous was fine in the last edition. Currently, just the ability to go, boop, yeah, no healing for you, especially against Hordes. That's just, so bad for me. So, complaining aside, Lylyth is going to go, and finally pops her feet. I do the proper thing and shoot the Bouncer first, so that he can't shield guard, because he's stationary. And then I just do cleanup work. I look at it as, yeah, I'm sort of wasting my feet, kind of, but can't stationary Madrak because the Bouncer, for some reason, has the animus of no knockdown, no stationary, no nothing, basically. 1 Fury, counter Lylyth 3. Yeah. But I think at this point I'm still in a fairly decent position. I can deal with enough of his stuff that he's not really going to be able to get into Lylyth. So I go ahead and reposition forward just to make sure that I can keep all of my War Beasts in my control range. Which is fine. I go ahead with the Striders, and they deal with the last Fennblade as far as I can tell. I, of course, forget to pick up the Scather template, but, yeah, that's fine. That's a thing. And my poor Naga is just stuck. Like, I don't even think it can do anything against champions. But it is at least tying them up, which is hilarious. Yeah, this is one of those times where I really want to look at it and go, huh, so my Ravagore puts up the continuous fire animus. That would be hilarious. But no. So the Bolt Thrower shoots the Runebearer, and I think I kill him anyway, but mainly to try and push him out of the Grim Salvation range. So he's really got 1 target, maybe 2. He's got the Chronicler, and I believe I dealt with all of the Whelps, because apparently you can Grim Salvation onto Whelps. Who knew? Yeah, trolls, man. I'm telling you. So, my angel walks up, and hits Rock. And I'm looking at it going, well, I need to roll an 8 or something like that, or a 7 on 2 dice to kill him because he had 1 point left. But yeah, so I managed to actually roll dice today. I killed Rock, so Madrak gets a bunch of transfers, and then I try and hit Madrak. But I mean, I'm not expecting it to die, or I'm not expecting to kill Madrak. It would be nice if I did, but oh well. Then I just beat on the Bouncer a little bit. Like I said, I'm not really certain that I can actually kill Madrak this turn. It's possible, but unlikely. However, at this point, he has not very many, or not very much left from his army. But, we'll see. Then I start swinging on Madrak and completely forget that he's behind an obstruction, which is a problem for me. So, yeah. I do basically nothing to Madrak. So, that's the thing. Yeah. Other than that, the Naga tries to beat on some champions, and that's about it, really. I'm trying to set up for in my next turn. I can hopefully deal with Madrak next turn, assuming that things survive. But, then the Succubus actually uses one of its new abilities for influence, to try and make one of the champions hit one of his buddies. Doesn't work, really. He takes a couple of points of damage, maybe like 1 or 2, but oh well. So that was my turn 3. Not horrible, really, but Madrak is still alive, and I'm super out of position for even pushing for a scenario win at this point. So I'm not certain how this is going to work out. It does depend on his next turn, and seeing what Madrak can get accomplished by himself.
So going into turn 4, I realized right off the bat that I had made a major mistake in not just saying screw the Naga Nightlurker and move right through the Scather template to get my trolls closer to Lylyth and give more charge lanes to be able to get to her and maybe threaten or put some more damage. One thing that I had done throughout this entire game is I had lost the peace trading. You know, I wasn't taking any damage. Both Madrak and Lylyth had no damage on them and no points were on the board, but I had realized that in all of my second guessing and trying to fix the issues that I had with bad ideas or mistakes made, that my time was starting to run short. So I tried to put some damage into the Angel, thinking that maybe I could clear up some space and start trying to do something to Lylyth, so at least 1 point of damage was on there. But as I'm just basically missing shots and, you know, by rolling crap dice and throwing, you know, more fury into off Madrak in order to try and do something, I realized that there's nothing I can really do on this, and it ends up in basically causing me to lose on Death Clock due to losing time. So what afterthoughts do I have about this absolute shit show? My biggest issues, I believe, were playing Madrak too far up instead of playing him more central, where more people could have benefited from his feat. I think that by not peace trading well enough and basically giving Soulless my heavies kind of set me back. I also played the champions in the wrong way. They didn't really get to do much. They actually didn't kill anything. They were just a very expensive unit that was moving around. Not to mention choosing one option, whether it was threatening a zone or going for the assassination. Overall, I think the thing I need to fix is I just need to play more games with Madrak 2 and try and get a little bit more experience. All in all, I want to thank my opponent for definitely showing me that, and I had a great game.